What is up, people? Welcome back to the channel. So today we need to crack on, finalize some of these jobs that we've got outstanding. So we need to finish these A-post mounts. Ideally, I need to try and work out what I'm doing with the top of them. Then we're going to need to make the secondary piece that goes on the outside. Then we need to address this door because we've got to move the hinge on this door. The other part of the lists is we need to finish the gear selector mount. And in the last video I said there's an issue we've got to deal with. It's my seat. So my driver's seat, for me, it's right. It's a touch high because I've got these new aluminium rails in and I've got the sliders because I wanted the seat to be adjustable. Now, a chap's just come round, one of my subscribers, and brought my turbo engine off me. And I let him sit in the car. Now, he's 5'9". I'm 5'6.5". 5'9", and he sat in the car. He wouldn't be able to have a helmet on in the car because he's too close to the roof. And I've made this car as tall as possible. Those rails and seat rails, the side mount and the rails, are just taking up too much real estate. So I either need to remove the adjustable rails or change the side mounts, something. I need to work out how to get this seat a lot lower because we've lost like 2 inches due to these rails. Yeah, let me get you underneath and see if you can see how much space we're losing. So we've got an inch here, then all this space, and at the back up there, so we've got an inch for this, yeah, and then the seat, it's hard to see because that is the radius arm mount. Go this side. Can I zoom in a bit? So that is the rail, the bar that goes across, yeah, and look how high we are to the seat. So if we look at the gap between the bolts and the seat there. So we've got a good inch to the aluminium, and then we've got the inch to that. So this seat, I put all that effort into getting the seat low, and then I've took up 2 inches with that. So I'm like, oh. But I know that the seat mount bolts are all in line, so technically I could do away with these rails that are like this, yeah, put a square 91 in, because I can't go any lower on here because of this step, yeah. So yes, I just spent 70 quid on these rails and chopped them up, but I'll just chuck them in the spares. We need to try and get this seat lower. Then I need to make sure that the gear selector is still going to work where it is. I mean, it would, I think. It's not going to be too high. I think the gear selector is fine with the height. But I can just adjust these whenever I want. I'll just make new ones, taller, shorter, whatever. So the seat has got to be moved. It's got to come down 100%. So, yeah. And he also looked at the pedal angle. The pedal angle is not finalised. But because the seat's high, your foot sits at a bit of a funny angle. I hadn't even noticed it until he got in the car. So, yeah. Do you know what I mean? This is where a second set of eyes really comes into handy. Especially with someone a little bit taller, bigger feet. Because he's got bigger feet than me. Because everybody on the planet's got bigger feet than me. Right then. So, let's crack on with these panels first. So, we're going to make a template. I'm also just going to chop the bottom of this one off. We need to get the front of the body mounted. Then we can look at mounting the back of the body there. Then the body has got its final position. Because at the minute, the back of the body does this. Because there's nothing holding the back of the body from moving side to side. Right, let's get some cardboard. Because if I undo this is all this is doing, was holding, oh my gosh, was holding the body forward. See, it's not actually doing anything. It's just holding the body in. So technically, we can move this. I had to chop this out because there was a bit of an odd shape in the body. But what I'm going to do is once I've got the body to the stage I want it at, I'll probably just take this to Les and say, can we do this? Can we do that? Because this is probably going to get cut off. I'll cut the other side off. Don't really need it. So this will probably come off to about here because the wings come out quite high. So I've got to make a piece that comes here to spread the wing out to maintain my gap, if you know what I mean. So that's another thing we've got to do. The body's not the end of the world because Les can just do anything with this kind of stuff. He's really good. Right, let's make a panel. Right, so what we've ended up with is our template, yeah, which is just a template. And then you've got your metal. So I've left this edge slightly long. So once we are up in position and it's where it needs to be, we've got a bit to trim off because I didn't want it too small. Oh, you know what I mean? So once that's up in there, the bottom's lined up, and then we've got to put a bend all the way down here so that fits against that tube like that. And then this gap will close up, and then spit, spit, spat, spat, bit of weld. And then I've checked this on the other side, so I've drawn around it, and it's about right. So once we've made these, we've then got to finalise the rest of the positioning. Then we've got to slot the body back and start welding. So we're going to have to put some welds on the other side, otherwise once we start welding it'll go, do you know what I mean? So yeah, we'll get some weld on, and then this is going to be our datum point for the rest of the build. Right, I've got to bend this. So what we are going to do is it goes with a little bender like that. I'll put a mark there and a mark there. So we will bring this down, loosen it a touch. We're going to drop that in there, drop that there. This bend isn't that critical. It's more critical that it's straight, yeah, than it is its position that way. Yeah, it can go in a bit, but it can't really go out a bit. That's why I've put it on the inside of the marks. So yeah, then I'm just going to bend it. It takes a bit of bending, this stuff does, on this little tiny bender. It's easy to bend, but you have to bend it a little bit, edge off, a little bit, edge off, a little bit, edge off. Otherwise, all it'll do is it'll bend this, and you get like an off-center bend, if you know what I mean. It's like a bow. So ideally, I need to put some bit of more reinforcement in this. It has got a piece on the back. You see that like bit of angle? but it just bends. So I'll get that bent and I'll pull you back. Right then, so we've got our 2 cover plates. They fit pretty well. They're going to need a final little bit of a linish on the edge just to make them match nice. And we've got to put some holes in for the spot welds to keep them together. But yeah, not too bad. So, go up into there. So these are just got to get welded. So what I'm going to do is take it back off, put a couple more welds, like stitches, on the inner panel. Then this will go on, get tacked in place. Then the body can come off and we need to weld it all together basically. Cap the top. And that's 2 more little pieces to the puzzle. Done. Right, let's get this cracking. Tell you what, I might drill them first. Do I drill them or I might drill this one and put the spot welds on this side. I need to drill this first, don't I? Because I don't drill through the second panel. Yeah, we'll take it apart, drill it, some welds, bish bash bosh. Get that done. Right, so where we're at now is this is welded. I decided to weld it all the way down the inside. Well, this one don't go all the way because it's getting chopped. I decided to weld it all the way down the inside. And when I'm finished, I'll polish this corner back up. So it'll be a nice dead corner. You know what I mean? And once the paint's in there, it'll seal it up. We've got our holes in here for our spot welds. It's all got weld through primer inside. Yeah, I'll just take this off. Ta-da! So she's welded all the way down there. It's all got primer in it. So just going to put it together, clamp it up, make sure it's in the right place, and then weld it out. And then that is going to be a solid door mount. You know what I mean? Real solid. It ain't going to go nowhere because these are being welded in 2 different positions. That's there and this one's around here. And with the shape, she ain't going to go nowhere. All right, then I'll get this done and bring you back again. Right, so now these are welded on. I'm going the other side because I haven't grinded the other side off yet. So we have got all our spot welds run down. This only goes to there because that's obviously going to be chopped off. That's all filled in, joined together, and we are fully welded all the way down there. And then this one I've cleaned off, look, so all these are smooth now. I missed a little bit of speckle there. So that's a smooth gone. Cleaned that up a touch, rounded all that edge off, cleaned all the back up, all these welds. This isn't normally the type of welding I like to do. This is like a spot, just keeping it warm. Because if I'd have tried to run that in one weld, I think this would have warped. Yeah, so. And I haven't capped the tops yet because I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know whether to try and run it up here a little bit. So it like flows into the cage instead of just being a flat top. I need to get the body back down to have a look at the best way, I think, of doing that. But yeah, these are solid. I mean, these ain't going to go nowhere. So they're going to hold me door beautifully. And the locks, oh shit, the rest of the locks turned up today. So we can do a little bit more now. So those are done. So we will clean the other side up. Then we need to really, what's the best way now? What's the next step to do? What we'll do, we'll drop the body back down, get it back in position. Then we can start to look at getting our mountings for here. This is just going to have riv nuts in, some steel riv nuts, flush fit ones. So we'll get the body back down, get it squared back up at the back end. Then we can get the front put in. Then we can have a look at the mount for there. Now we've got the rest of the lock. We've got to look at this as well. So we've got to open this up. Yeah. We'll open them up so we know where the original back goes. And then I've looked at these. And when they're in the lock, like that, and locked in. Oh, shit me, it's hard to do with one hand. Well, we've got plenty of give in here. Do you know I was going to put a plate between these? I think we've got plenty of room to do that. So we'll start. This has got to go in here. Well, not this, is the other side. Then we've got to make a bracket for the back of that to go to that door bar. And then we can start getting the doors actually on. Do you know what I mean? And working. Then we're going to rip them seat rails off and try and lower the seat. So yeah, nice simple job now. I'll get this back down and get it in place. Right then, so the body back on. So I'll put 3 riv nuts in there. But I only put the 1 bolt in because we don't need all 3 of them in. It's just to hold the body where it is. So what we're going to do in the next video, because this one's dragged out, we've got to rip the seats out. And we need to make those mounts. And then hang the door. But I don't know if to hang the door first. So we make sure we get that in line. We'll just go with the holes that we can see. I don't know. And we've got to do the brakes. But I'm going to do that in another video. Because basically, they'll only fit under split rims. They won't fit under my cast wheels. So that's a bit of a bugger. But I want to try and do something. Using... Where's it gone? It was here. Somewhere there's a CAD. Don't know. There's a CAD aluminium drive flange somewhere. I want to see if we can turn it down to use the CAD aluminium flanges instead of the Metro ones. So that's something we're going to do in another video because it's dragging out. Well then, thanks for watching. A pillar. Nearly done, but it's solid. And then we're going to move on to the back one. So, catch you next one, people. See you later.